What is up, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you some easy mastering tips and tricks for FL Studio. Quick disclaimer, if you are a professional music producer, or you consider yourself very experienced in music producing, and you're looking for something advanced, go watch someone else's tutorial, because this is super basic. Mastering is easily the weakest part of my production game. I'm not very good at it. All my music is free to download anyways, and I just do that for fun, just as a hobby. I'm not making any money off my music at all. So yeah, just if you're a beginner, you just want to spice up your tracks, make them sound a little bit better really easily with all in-house plugins. You don't want to spend a ton of time on it. You're kind of like me, just for fun, or you're just starting out with FL Studio, then this is probably the tutorial for you. But this is not an advanced tutorial. Nothing confusing in here. So this is a remix of a song called Messy, and it'll probably sound better. I'm not trying to flex, but it's going to sound better than a lot of your guys' tracks, just because it uses a lot of stems and a lot of pre-recorded stuff, a lot of pre-mastered things. And I mean, the reason for that is because I recently lost my e-licenser for Nexus, and so I don't have access to anything. So I can't change them anymore. So I just have to use the pre-recorded versions, and I can't change anything. And it pisses, every time I open stuff with my Nexus plugins in there, it takes fucking forever, and it pisses me off. And I can rant about that for hours, and how Nexus doesn't allow you to use your software anymore if you lose your e-licenser. And I was on vacation, and I straight up do not know where it went. And it's I don't even know how much on that plugin. Insane amounts, and it was a super important part of my producing thing or whatever. So I bought Serum to replace it, because fuck Nexus. But anyways, not important. So it sounds pretty well mastered already. If we just play it through here a little bit. It's not too late to say you never met. Some of you might hate that drop with the plucks. I hated it too at the start, but then it kind of grows on you a little bit. So yeah, just don't hate the music. This is just for the mastering. So the three things you're going to need are a couple of EQs and a compressor. Disregard this tape stop. It is just part of the song, and it should be at the top. Actually, this tape stop should be at the top, but it's not, just because I've mastered this differently than this tutorial. I used Maximus, but I've now learned that Maximus kind of fucks up your sound a little bit sometimes. Don't at me on that one. Personal preference, I prefer the Fruity Multiband compressor over Maximus. But Maximus it says the same thing pretty much. It's just not a compressor. So yeah, so you're gonna want two of these, and you want these at the top, or unless you have a tape stop in there, or some a glitch or some effect that's not really changing the sound. It's more of an automation, if you understand that. But the mixer does work in order. So these are the first things put on there, and this is the last. So you want the compressor last for sure. And you want these first or towards the top. So the first one you're going to want to put in is something like this. So I'm going to put it back to default just so you can see. So you're going to load it up, and it's going to look like this. So this is just a preset, really easy. You just go in there and you do the 40-80 cut, and it's just going to do something like this. You can mess around. This one, you could push it more towards the end. I'm just going to leave it where it is. And the reason for this one is that there's straight up nothing good going on here. In this low of a low end, nothing good's happening there. It just sounds like ass, okay? And I'm sure a lot of you, if you're a young producer, are struggling with bass, and just finding how low to put those notes on here, for bass. That's definitely a struggle. It is still a struggle. Oh shit, there's a noise. Okay, I don't know where that came from. That was kind of scary. Yeah, so there's nothing good going on there, and same with this thing. There's nothing good going up here, on up here. But yeah, so this is just something that you need to put on every single track. Does not matter what it is. Every bass down here sounds terrible. Every high sounds terrible up here too. So this is necessary, so we're going to turn that on. And you actually probably won't know. I'm just going to play through with it on and off. Just flick it on and off. You probably won't notice the difference, but your listeners will, and like audio freaks will also notice. So I can't tell a difference, but there is a difference. So the next one you're going to want to do is a little thing like this, and I cannot remember like what to call this. What it's called? There is a word for it. I don't know what it's called though. I can't remember what it's called. I can't do it. Okay, so this is the default right here. I want to use number 7 because this controls the whole high end. Now, if I was to pull up like a 5, it's just going to be like, it's just going to put a little bump, which doesn't do anything for us. So we're just going to put it up somewhere between like 1 and 3. So it's a +1 or 3. Higher than that is too extreme. Okay, so you want to listen to your song and you want to hear like, do I have like are my high ends like sticking out enough or like not enough? So if you've got like a song where like the lead is a pretty low note, you might want to put this up a little bit higher. If it's a pretty high note already, you don't need to crank it. So for this song, I know that it's going to be somewhere around here, so slightly lower than 3. And you want to bring this down to about 1K, so you can see it's 1,000. So you want something like this. This you should notice right away, because it just puts a little bit of pop, a little bit of clarity. Just kind of makes it feel a little bit sharper. So I'll play through with it off and on. And I think, especially with vocals, especially with women's vocals, some men with higher voices, it sounds insanely like improved from what it was before. It just kind of makes it pop. I love it to death. So you should put this on all of your songs too. And then the third thing is the compressor. So what you need to look at when you're figuring out which preset to use in the compressor is how loud is my song already. So I'm just going to play through here and just look at what the decibels are. So the drop should be the loudest part of your song, and for me it's already at -3, which is pretty quiet. Some of your songs might be at 0 or even above 0. You'd never want it to be above 0, by the way. You should try to figure out a way to make it quieter. And I'm looking at the break here in the intro, and it's at 9, so that's really quiet. This song is very quiet. So I'm going to turn on my compressor, and I'm going to go to presets, and I'm going to do mastering 6 decibels. And I'm thinking that might be a bit extreme, so I'm just going to turn it just a tiny little. I'm going to turn them all just a tiny bit down. So now when I play through, okay, so it's already louder. We look at the drop. Okay, I may have made a mistake. I'm going to turn it up again because it is still very quiet. Okay, so it looks better already. So it's hitting the 0. That's what you want. If you see up in here, when you play through, it's a lot of this darker red and not the pink. That means that it's like peaking, and you don't want that. Or maybe it's a lighter. If you see, if this thing is completely full of color, you fucked up. You need to turn it down because it's way too loud. It's peaking, and it's gonna sound like trash. All right, so yeah, and I'll just like this is obvious what this does. It makes it louder, and this does the same thing as the Maximus, but I don't know if Maximus has a limiter, which is important because this will limit it at 0. You see it goes above 0 without it, and then with it's stuck at 0. So you want it to be at 0. But this does the same thing as Maximus. You got the low, mid, and high. You can change the gain individually for each of these. I'm just going to leave them the same. I usually just leave them kind of the same. I turned the low down a little bit just because the drum's pretty strong already, so I didn't want it as strong. But that's how you do it. It's super easy to master songs quick like this. And I like to do it all in Project so I can kind of change it and hear the difference. Some people like to render it out and then master. I don't like that. Also, I feel like it makes the quality of the file worse. Don't at me on that one. I don't know. I'm not trying to pretend like I know a lot. So yeah, that's how you do it. If this helps you, or if you have any questions, leave a comment down below, and like and subscribe if you want to see more videos. Thanks for watching.